What's up guys, my name is Josh and today I'm going to be giving you my first impressions of the 598Cs. They look like this. These are the closed version of the 598s. I also have the open back version coming in soon. I'll be reviewing and comparing both of those separately and doing all that fun stuff. Now, one thing I do want to note is that this is before the burn-in purposefully. I want to explain everything that I hear and what I think about the build quality and all that stuff before I actually do the burn-in and before I listen to it for like a week before I actually put the full review out. Real quick, if you want to see the unboxing of it though, the link to that video is in the description down below if you are interested in that. Other than that, let's just get right into it. The build. For completely a plastic build, it actually feels pretty solid. More solid than I was expecting. It has a one-sided proprietary twist connector here, and the connection is right like that. And then they have a short version. It's looks like 3.5 feet with that terminates to a 3.5 millimeter, and then they have a longer version which is about 6.5 feet that has the same proprietary end that plugs into the headphones, but the other end is a full-size 1/4-inch adapter. I'm using the short version because I'm on my desk. I like it a little bit better. And then the short version does come with an inline remote, and it is a 4-pole. Okay, the ear cups are definitely over ear. They are very big. They fit very comfortably over your ears. It doesn't isolate sound the best I've ever heard, but it's definitely not bad. These pads are kind of like an Alcantara type material. It has what feels like memory foam underneath it. They feel pretty good. They feel really soft to the touch, but when they're on your head, they actually feel kind of hard, but they do seal pretty well. And then it's a pretty slim headphone. I don't think it looks too bad. I'm not huge on the design, but I don't think it's the worst design I've ever seen before. Everything on this is plastic, unfortunately, like I already said. The sliders aren't super clicky. It's kind of hard to distinguish like where exactly you are. Let's say you want to make it 4 clicks on this side, 4 clicks on this side. Well, since they're kind of loose, it's kind of hard to count. I wish they would at least have some sort of measurement system on the band, but they don't. The headband has decent clamping force, but I'm sure it will reduce over time. And then a weird thing is that this looks like plastic, and it is plastic underneath there. But on top of the plastic, there's actually like a felt type material, a very thin felt type material that I'm sure will wear off over time. And I've already noticed that it does kind of collect dirt pretty easily. So not a huge deal. Something that's worth noting though, for sure. The headband is comfortable. It's hard on top, but very plush on the bottom. And then just like all the other Sennheisers, like it kind of makes a little bit of noise when you move it around too much. Other than that, I think that will wrap it up for the build. Now, how does it sound right off the bat? It sounds pretty good. It's definitely got a Sennheiser sound signature. If you don't know what that is, they pretty much have an emphasis on mids almost 90% of the time. Their HD598s, I would say, kind of escape the mid-range and focus more on the highs and definitely kind of retract from the lower end. But these aren't HD598s. The detail right off the bat is pretty clean, pretty clear. They have a more flat sound signature than something like an HD600, which kind of has more of a bump in the mids, especially the mid-bass range, whereas this it's still definitely a mid-range headphone, but it's not as mid-rangey as an HD600. The highs don't go super high. The highs do go a little bit brighter on a tube amp. I did notice that already. With it, just kind of playing around with it for like 5-10 minutes. And then the bass is present for sure, but it doesn't hit with a lot of impact. I'm hoping that's something that will change, especially in the mid-bass range, because songs like Hotel California, which can, under the right headphones, have a lot of impact, doesn't really have a lot of impact on these. Now, imaging and soundstage is also, the imaging is very good. The soundstage is pretty tight, and that might be due to them being a closed back. It doesn't go far out. I would say it's wider than the HD600s for sure. It's not as in your face, in your head type of soundstage, but it's not nearly as wide as something like an M40X or even an M50X. It's definitely like the sound maybe feels like it's coming from like this distance, whereas the 600 would be here. and then an M40X or an M50X would be here. On a tube, from what I could pick up, it did widen a little bit, and the tube did reduce the bass just a tiny bit. It more seemed to change the thickness and the texture of the bass rather than the actual impact. I did do a tiny bit of electronic music. They weren't that great because of the lack of impact on that bass. Now, it's still very present. It's not something that you feel that it's lacking. The bass was equal to like M40X's in amount, but M40X's are able to hit that threshold faster than the 598s. Obviously, this is going to change with the break-in, and I'll go more into the differences when I finally get around to doing the comparison between the two. And that's probably the most lacking feature of these is the bass impact right now. But that being said, it's not that bad. I mean, in general, these are a really well put together, really well structured, and really good sounding pair of headphones. Then the vocal ranges are very good. Sennheiser has vocals down to a T, as we know. So I will link to the Amazon for these things down below if you do want to try them for yourselves. I will also link the open back version. Look forward to the reviews and the comparisons that will come in the future with these headphones. As of right now, I can say that I recommend them, but please wait to purchase them until I actually do the full review and see how they sound and compare to other things in their price range. Until I see you guys again, my name is Josh. Leave any questions in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, you know the deal. If you dislike it, just don't dislike it because it hurts my feelings. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.